My family and I just sailed on the Norwegian Viva on a 7-day Western Caribbean cruise, visiting Cozumel, Mexico, Harvest Caye, Belize, Roatán, Honduras, and Costa Maya, Mexico. In this video, I'm going to take you day by day through what life is like as a Haven guest on board the Norwegian Viva. First, let me quickly explain what Haven is. The Haven is basically a private luxury section at the top of the ship. It has its own rooms, restaurant, pool, lounge, and even a private sun deck. You also get priority boarding, a butler, and a concierge, so everything is just way more personalized and relaxed compared to the rest of the ship. Now let's get into the video.
We arrived in Galveston, Texas the night before, and as Haven guests, we were able to board the ship early at around 10 a.m. The whole process was super seamless since we had our own line. We basically just walked right onto the ship and headed straight to our stateroom. Our room had 2 beds, 2 baths, and a living room with a pull-out couch. Right after getting settled, my family and I went upstairs to grab a bite to eat from the private Haven restaurant located on the Haven lounge deck. The food did not disappoint. Once the ship was fully boarded, we dropped the lines and set sail. We spent most of our first day getting situated in our stateroom and exploring the Haven lounge. To finish off the night, my family and I had dinner at a specialty restaurant, Roatán. Day 2 was the sea day as the ship made its way across the Gulf. We slept in, then grabbed coffee and pastries from the ship's Starbucks. After that, we spent some time exploring outside of the Haven area. We played some games, went to the main pool, grabbed some ice cream from the self-serve machines, rode the water slide. For lunch, we went to the Indulge Food Hall, which is an all-you-can-eat spot where you can order anything from iPads. I got some really good Texas barbecue and Indian food from here. After lunch, we had our first official excursion of the trip. This was a behind-the-scenes tour of the ship. We got to see the galley, food storage areas, laundry facilities, the engine room, and even the bridge. Unfortunately, they didn't let me film all of it, but it was a very cool tour. Afterwards, my family was invited to a Haven event at the front of the ship where we had drinks with the captain and his first officers. To finish off the night, we went to a Mexican restaurant, Los Lobos.
On day 3, we woke up before the sun to grab breakfast in the Haven before heading off the ship for our first port of call, Cozumel, Mexico. Our first excursion was a beach club where we got to relax by the water and eat Mexican food pretty much all day. The resort was beautiful and had lots of activities to do. After about 4 hours there, we headed back to the ship. Once we got back on board, I spent even more time taking in the views of Cozumel, Mexico from the Haven Infinity Edge pool. After that, we grabbed dinner in the Haven and headed over to our first show. It was a magic comedy show, and it ended up with my sister being called up on stage to help with one of the tricks. To finish the night, we went to an 80s dance party in the club. The next morning, we had a later start to our day in Harvest Caye, Belize. After getting off the ship, we boarded a small boat that took us to explore the rainforest. Along the rivers, we saw tons of wildlife, including alligators, birds, iguanas, bats, and even turtles. At one point, we got off the boat and did a 30-minute hike inland to try and see the monkeys. We only got a quick glimpse of them in the trees, but it was still really cool. After getting back from the excursion, we grabbed some lunch on shore at Harvest Caye and took a dip in the ocean. We also walked through a small wildlife facility where we saw iguanas and parrots. Once we got back on the ship, we headed to Cagani's Steakhouse for dinner, which was really good. On day 5, we visited the island of Roatán, Honduras. After starting the day with breakfast in the Haven, we headed down to the dock and boarded a bus for a full island tour. Our first stop was at Roatán Chocolate Factory and local market, where we got to try some samples of their chocolate. After that, we continued on to the wildlife park, which was definitely the highlight of the day. We got a bit of a history lesson on Honduras and then got to interact with a bunch of animals. We had parrots sit on our heads, got to pet a sloth, and even had monkeys climbing on my entire family. After that, we went down to tour one of the ports in Roatán and then finished the excursion at a beach club where we watched the locals dance. After doing some souvenir shopping, we headed back to the ship. That night, we had dinner at another specialty restaurant, Palomar, which is a seafood spot. We ended the day at a show called Press Your Luck. We got extremely good seats because of our haven priority.
On day 6, we visited our final port of call, Costa Maya, Mexico. Since we arrived very early, we ordered room service from our haven butler to start the day. Once we got on shore, we boarded another bus that took us to the Mayan ruins. The ruins were built by the ancient Mayan civilization, which goes back thousands of years and is known as its advanced cities and structures. It was really cool to see, although our time there was pretty short since the ship was leaving around noon. Back on board, we grabbed lunch at the local bar and grill, which is open 24 hours a day and was very good. After lunch, my family and I went to the arcade and played a few games, including darts. After dominating my family in darts, we headed to dinner at the Haven, where I had a very good surf and turf. After that, we went to see another show called Icons, which features singers impersonating popular artists. Day 7 was our last full day on the ship, and it was also a sea day as we made our way back to Galveston. Since it was the last day, I wanted to try everything I hadn't done yet. I started by riding the 10-deck drop slide that goes over the side of the ship. A lot of people were nervous about it, but it was actually really fun, so I went a couple of times. After that, we had to try the onboard go-kart track. Norwegian ships are some of the only cruise ships with tracks like these at sea, which makes it pretty unique. Then I walked around the ship a bit more and found this really cool glass tech, which feels like you're walking on water. I grabbed some more food from the local bar and grill, and we did an escape room, which we ended up beating in about 25 minutes. We watched the sunset before heading to dinner at Hasuki, a teppanyaki restaurant that's basically like Benihana's. We celebrated my sister's birthday here and did some souvenir shopping to finish off the trip.
Day 8 was the earliest morning by far. We packed up, had one last breakfast in the Haven, and got off the ship for good, all before 8:30 a.m. Overall, the Norwegian Viva and the Haven experience was incredible. Every detail felt well thought out, the crew was amazing, and the ship itself is beautiful. The ports were great, and it was just an all-around really fun trip. If you're interested in anything I did on this trip, I left my full itinerary in the description below. I'm Kyle Busby, don't forget to subscribe, and thank you for watching.